recreating on the rivers. Welcome to the rivers. The confluence of the three rivers in downtown Fort Wayne. Such a strong, powerful image, yet I wonder how many of you have glanced at the waters? How many of you have been on the trails? How many of you have been on the rivers? Have you seen us in our boats on the water? There's nothing special needed to engage the rivers, yet there is everything special about the experience. A lot of the reason we are here today has everything to do with what happened along these waters in the past. So here we are on the edge of the biggest basin and river in all the Great Lakes, the Maumee River. With the rivers came settlements, first with the natives, the Miami people. This was the shortest portage between the Mississippi River and the Great Lakes. The rivers had different names then. The St. Joseph, Cochise Asapewi, meaning Bean River. The St. Mary's and the Maumee, Naamawa Sapewi, meaning first fish, or Sturgeon River. These must have been very important resources at that time. Along with this came the trade centers and the homes of the first Europeans coming into this area. Trade was life, and it still is. With trade comes power. With power comes conflict. Every major conflict that happened in the colonial and early American period was fought over this control of this area. One of the worst defeats of the American Army ever was for control over this portage. Another battle, which happened on the St. Joseph River, was said to have left the river running red with the blood of men and horses. Here are some of the people who have visited our shores. Michikanakwa, Little Turtle, was the mastermind behind the worst rout of the American Army ever at the hands of the natives, and also until World War II. So what might we find currently along the rivers? Bike, canoe, and kayak rentals? Restaurants and bars? Greenways and river tours. Did you know that you can take a historic river tour of downtown Fort Wayne? There is already a river economy here. So what might this bring? Not this, but this. More river-oriented bars and restaurants, maybe floating ones, and housing. The rivers in downtown Fort Wayne are a natural gathering place for people. Fountains, overlooks, and river walks, all designed with the intent of minimizing the flood hazard and improving, maximizing the quality of life and water. Looking back at the previous slide, I would be remiss to say there is nothing wrong with the waters. We have pollution. We have bacteria. We have combined sewers. Our rivers don't catch fire anymore, but you have to be aware of what is out there. In older parts of the country, we have older sewer systems. But the good news is, in the Great Lakes, we have some of the strictest standards in the nation, but they still pose a concern. Excess fertilizer can lead to hazardous algae. You have to be aware of what to put on the land and never apply chemicals before a rainstorm. Do what you can do. So we do have concerns with the river, but the good news is we have great people working hard to improve that water quality. Some of the most attractive river destinations have worse issues with their water quality. Venice, Paris, Chicago, and Memphis. In comparison, ours is not so bad. The James River in the 1970s was declared dead, and now they're fishing blue crab from its waters. This has become a vital resource in Richmond, Virginia. Common sense prevails in keeping you and your family safe on and around the waters. People do swim in these rivers. Our predecessors did. I have too. But you have to know when and where to swim. Looks like fun, right? A good way to engage the way of the waters is to visit the IPFW Riverfest here, or the William Wells Weekend on the Wells Street Bridge. And now, our legendary Three Rivers Festival raft race has returned. In the region where we live, water is one of our more prominent resources. It's not unusual to live near water. 90% of all humanity live within a reasonable distance of the shores, the waterways, the mouths of rivers, lakes. We have 3 rivers. So this begs a question: who owns the rivers? You do. You don't need the legacy of boats or living on or around the waters to engage them. These are the waters of the United States, and they are the common property of everyone. You have the right to recreate on the rivers. Should you choose not to own a boat, someone will own a boat for you. So it is important that with this ownership, we recognize the need to keep the water quality clean. Power of place. Why is this important? We have a need, we have elevated in our society the level of stress in our daily lives. We have elevated the level of connectivity as well. We work hard, and then we want to play hard, and we want it all now. I'm here to propose a different type of connectivity. And this can be done here or anywhere by engaging the natural resource around you. Obesity, ADHD, anxiety, and common stress can all be countered to a certain extent by regular doses of recreation, leisure, nature, and relaxation. Here we have an abundance of water, and one of the ways to do that the challenge is to engage the water resources without compromising the quality. Recreation and leisure are the new economy and class. We have a need to recreate ourselves, to shed that stress. And one of the ways to do that is through recreation. Let's embrace the water legacy that helped to forge our communities. It's resources such as these that are driving economies and communities and creating vibrant communities with businesses and people moving to them, and it's all here. The good news is you're here too. See you on the river.